Hey, everybody.
You're on.
We'll go ahead and get started. Dana's going to forward the slides. So literally the day after the last call we had, USDA issued guidance. Some guidance. They say we're going to get more.
Let me interrupt. Dana, you may need to mute your microphone while Jennifer is
You
talking.
get kicked out? No, there you are.
I'm there. I'm just gonna get back to the. It went back to the one before Edgar fixed it. Okay.
Okay, so the first set of guidance that we got was an extension, and they're calling it waiver number 33, but what they've done is every time they've extended a current nationwide waiver, they just add it to the end of the waivers and make it a higher number. So this was originally the non-congregate feeding waiver that has been extended twice. It was the first, it was nationwide waiver number 22 and 22, and now it's 33. But what this one is allowing you to do is for meals to be served off the school grounds for your virtual students. Your meals for those virtual students will be claimed under National School Lunch, School Breakfast, and they will be claimed categorically free, reduced, and paid. Once school starts, you will no longer claim in seamless summer or summer feeding. And all meals will not be reimbursed at the free rate. You will claim through National School Lunch, School Breakfast, and they will be claimed categorically free, reduced, and paid. But this will allow for your district, if there's a virtual option going on, and I think most districts are going to have some sort of virtual option, be it 5 days a week, 2 days a week, 3, whatever it might be. And those students that are choosing to go virtual because of what's going on right now can come to the school and get a meal, breakfast and lunch, after school snack, if you're approved for after school snack, not at risk, we'll talk about that in a minute, and take it with them. You may also have a delivery option if you choose to do so. You have to have a way to claim them categorically free, reduced, and paid, like I've already said. So you are going to have to come up with a plan to do that. Maybe it's going to be a roster, and when they come to the school, you're going to check them off that roster, and then you're going to go back and put them in your point of sale system. Maybe your point of sale system allows for a laptop or a tablet, and you have one, and you have it out there with you, and you can check them off as they go, and that's okay too. We, as a state agency, have opted into these waivers, and that means we have to report back to USDA on the use of these waivers. Therefore, whatever your plan is for coming up with that non-congregate feeding, there needs to be a plan in place, and that needs to be reported back to your child nutrition field consultant for your individual school. If you're CEP or provision 2 or 3, you're already feeding those kids for free, but you will have to take account. You still have to take account. Okay, so the next waiver that they issued will be the next slide, and it is the waiver extensions number 34, but it was the original waiver, nationwide waiver number 1 and number 23, and it's been extended twice. This is the third extension of it. These will all take you through the end of this school year, next school year. Again, just like the last waiver, I said it's only meals will be claimed under National School Lunch, School Breakfast, not SSO or SFSP. And this will allow you to give the at least 2 meals if you want to have them come get breakfast and lunch on Monday for Monday or whatever day they're virtually learning. That is allowed, and you can give more than 1 day's meals. That's what this waiver extension is giving you the ability to do. Now, this slide talks about at risk. Let's talk a little bit about at risk. At risk was allowed to go through to June 30th based on the unanticipated school closure waiver, sorry. June 30th has come and gone. We as a state and many other states in the nation did a state waiver to try and get at risk to be able to be served and claimed through August 31st or whenever your school started. USDA denied every single state waiver regarding at-risk meals, just so you know. It was not just us. They blanket denied all of them for the fact that the regulation states that at-risk meals can only be claimed when school is in session. Now, I argued the fact that school hasn't been in session in Oklahoma since May 15th or before. And they said, but because we have the waiver through June 30th, you all could continue that at risk, be it supper or snack. June 30th has come and gone, so you can no longer claim any meals under at risk right now. Once school starts, you can only claim at-risk meals for those that are in attendance at the school, not for virtual students. The number one reason for that is there will not be, as of right now, that can change at any moment, don't get me wrong, but as of right now, I have to give you the information we have. And you will not be able to claim at risk for any virtual students because there's an enrichment component tied to it, and they're not willing to discuss a virtual enrichment program yet. Now, are they looking into it? Yes. Will we get information? Probably, but I have no idea when. So just so you know, at risk, once school starts, can only be claimed for the students after the school day and for those that are in attendance. And it has to have an enrichment or educational component tied to it. Again, we have to track this waiver as well, just like all the other ones. Okay, the next waiver that they've extended through next school year, all the way through the end of the school year, is what they're calling waiver 35. It was originally nationwide waiver number 5. It was extended and made 25, and now it's 35. This one is allowing for parents to pick up meals just like they were in the summer. Again, we have to have a plan from your school as to how you're going to ensure that the parent or guardian coming to pick up that meal is taking it to an enrolled child in the district. The other issue here is all summer since March and up till now, you've been able to feed younger siblings that aren't enrolled in the school, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, whatever the case may be, a 1-year-old maybe, and you've been able to give a meal. That's not going to be the case now. It is only for children enrolled in the district in those district schools. So again, meals will be claimed under NSLP, SBP, and claimed categorically free, reduced, or paid, depending on the child's status. This, we have to ensure, can you go ahead and go back one? We have to ensure and maintain accountability of the program and program integrity. Again, once you figure out your plan on how you're going to do this, you will submit that to your child nutrition field consultant. Okay, I'm gonna stop real quick before we go to 36 and 37, and I'm gonna play a little catch up and chat. That's okay, that's okay. Krista says, if a school or whole school district closes, can we then use SSO? At this point, no. The only way we can go back to SSO or SFSP is if USDA issues another unanticipated school closure waiver. That is the only way. We can't even submit a state waiver for that. So if your school has to shut down for 2 weeks or 3 weeks because of an outbreak, and that's what they choose to do, you can still feed them just like you would right now or when school starts according to these waivers, but it will be claimed under NSLP and SBP. And yes, your next question is the meal service time waiver for National School Lunch, School Breakfast only waived? It's waived until, it's waived the entire 2020-2021 school year, which, like the top of the waiver says, these are effective July 1st of 2020, which is what the state school fiscal year is, through June 30th of 2021. Steve, is extension number 34 through June 2021? Yes, that is correct. These waivers that I'm going over with you, waiver 33, 34, 35, we haven't gotten to 36 or 37, are for the entire school year that will start in August. The reason that they say July 1, 2020 through June 30th of 2021 is that is a state fiscal year. That is what the school year is based on. I realize you go August to May, but July 1 to June 30th each year is a full state fiscal year. Amantha, can we send home a meal with them on a Friday for a virtual day on Monday? You could do that. You need to issue food safety guidelines within that meal, because the last thing you want is for that child to leave school on a Friday if they're at school Friday and maybe they're a virtual kid Monday. All the schedules are crazy, so that might not even be realistic, but it could be. And that meal is in a sack or in a backpack or something, and the last thing you want is for that child to eat that on a Monday after it's been in a backpack all weekend, and there might potentially be food that has spoiled. So I would definitely include food safety instructions. Shauna, you could feed them out of one site. Her question is, what if we have 4 kids, but they all go to different sites? Can I feed them from one site? You could, but you have to claim them categorically at the school they belong to. So if your system has a way to do that, then that will be real easy. Otherwise, that's going to be a problem. Heather, you missed the beginning. What waivers were before 34 and 35? 33 was the non-congregate feeding waiver that allows you virtual kids to take meals, come pick up meals, and take them home to eat them. And 35 is the pickup, the parent pickup, which is the slide that's on the screen right now. 34 was the mealtime flexibility, which allowed them to take a virtual student to come pick up a breakfast and a lunch at the same time. If you're CEP, do you still categorize the virtual students? If you're CEP, you're feeding all your students for free. Well, they're being claimed as free, but you're claiming it on a free and a paid percentage.
No, they don't have to take it.
But no, you won't be taking a name.
Remind them they need to make sure they're accounting for those students, that they are students enrolled.
And they have to be students that are enrolled. Brenda, you're still feeding children the month of July. Will we be reimbursed for this month? Yes, yes, you can still claim and feed in July and August up until school starts on SSO and SFSP. Not a problem. Yes, Shauna, you may. That's the after school snack program, which is part of National School Lunch. That has nothing to do with the at-risk program. Shauna's asking, may I serve a breakfast, lunch, and snack after school snack program all at once with the mealtime waiver if they go to school virtually? Yes. Will we be able to run copies of all this info? Copies of the waivers have been posted on CARS since they came out. The day we got them, we posted them the same day, and SNA sent them out the same time as well. So waiver number 33 would only apply to enrolled students versus younger siblings as with SSO. That's correct. All of these only pertain to enrolled students, because now we're back to National School Lunch, School Breakfast. We are no longer, once school starts, we are no longer doing SSO or SFSP. Carrie, how would you know if a parent really takes the meal home? You don't, but your plan, we have to approve your plan. And if you're following what your plan says, that's all we can ensure. We can have a roster and check the child's name. We have to trust the parent to be responsible. You're correct. As long as you follow your plan, that's what you'll be held to. Lisa, if the school closes, use NSLP, SBP, and use rosters to count, that is correct. That is correct. And again, that's at this point, at this time, on this day. We are still expecting more guidance from USDA, but all I can speak to is these waivers that we've gone over so far, which I haven't even gotten through all of them yet. Will waiver number 35 allow for parents to pick up multiple students at a single school if their students are at multiple sites? That will only be allowed as if your point of service system has a way for you to claim So if you have a high school student and an elementary student in that family, and they come to the high school to get meals, that elementary student has to be claimed at the elementary site. That elementary student cannot be claimed at the high school site. So if you have a system or a way to ensure of that, that would be allowable. If you don't, then no, that's not going to work. So Shauna, that was good news for you that your ID goes back to the site. Good deal. Just so you're clear, Arthur, waiver number 35 just applies to NSLP. Waiver 35 is the parent pickup. And once school starts, parents can pick up the meal for their virtual students, but they are claimed under National School Lunch, School Breakfast. You may claim under SSO and SFSP up until your district starts back, whether it's virtual or traditional on-site, on-campus. No matter how you're doing it when school starts, at whatever district you're at, they're claimed under NSLP at that point. Yes, you'll need to go ahead and submit another plan because that was for summer feeding and that was for what we're considering last school year. Sorry. Yes, you can offer more than one day's meals at a time. Yes, you can. That's part of the mealtime waiver, flexibility waiver 34 and 35. B. Briggs. So can we feed younger siblings that aren't enrolled in school until school starts with SSO? Yes. Or SFSP? Yes. The PowerPoint, I believe we're going to post on cars. Yes. Yes, we are. So once school starts, if we have to close school again, we are just to continue to use NSLP. Yes, that is correct. Unless they come out with something that changes that, but we would have a call, we would issue it through cars. Yes, once school starts, you will be claiming categorically through NSLP and SBP. Yes, all these waivers are on cars and have been on cars for about 2 weeks, at least a week and a half. When a parent picks up a meal, we use it, if that's what you want your plan to be, then that is fine. Okay, so right now I'm caught up on the chat, so we're going to go to waiver 36. Waiver 36 is another extension to the meal pattern waiver. This was originally, this has been extended 4 different times. This was originally waiver number 4, number 13, number 25, number 26, and now we're at 36. Again, just like with summer and seamless, the meal pattern waiver is only when all options to get the meal patterns met have been exhausted. It's not a blanket waiver to just do whatever you want and feed them whatever you want. No, it is not. And you do have to supply your child nutrition field consultant your plan if you need a meal pattern flexibility waiver. It's component specific. It's not blanket, just like summer. And it does not cover supply shortages such as covered containers, bowls with lids, etc. It is only for food. Okay. Number 37 is just a new one, and it's new waiver number 37, and it's offer versus serve for high school. It allows you to not implement offer versus serve at the high school level, and this would really come into play for your virtual kids. They come get a meal, you're just going to give them the entire meal rather than doing offer versus serve. Or if you're having to serve in the classroom, depending on what your district is deciding, again, you give them the full meal, because it's not going to be real feasible to do offer versus serve. Again, that's at lunch only for the high school level. And we do have to track this as well. So if you're going to implement this waiver, you'll need to let your child nutrition area consultant know that as well. And we have forms that we will give you to do this. Yes, Krista, could we do offer versus serve in person for kids and not for virtual? Yeah, that's fine. That's really why they came up with this. If you're feeding your virtual kids, you I just give them a full meal. Or if you're taking meals to the classroom, it's probably going to be easier to just give them all a full meal. But if they're coming to the cafeteria and they can go through the line and they can honestly implement offer versus serve the way it is intended, they choose 3 of the 5 at lunch or 3 of the 4 at breakfast. It is only required at lunch at the high school level though. So that's what waiver 34 is. I'm sorry, 37, sorry about that. And as a reminder, we have some trainings coming up. I think that's our next slide, our ABVM trainings. And these, July 21st and August 6th, will only cover applications, benefit issuance, verification, meal counting, and claiming. Over the years, when we do them in person, we add to it just to get you all the pertinent information. But for this class, because we don't want to sit in front of a computer for 6 hours. We've shortened it up, and we're only talking about those required topics that USDA requires us train on. Now, down the road, a few weeks from that, the next slide, we've got a training on procurement, and we're only going to focus on procurement. Then we've got one, and that's July 28th and August 5th. Then we've got one July 21st and 22nd, just on the wellness policy, smart snacks, and professional standards. Cafeteria managers. We've added that one since we had this last conversation because you all really want one. And so we added it, and it's going to be a long one, but there really wasn't a good way to shorten it up. And so there's going to be a cafeteria managers training on July 31st from 9 to 3. We'll have a short break in the morning. We'll break for lunch. We'll have a short break in the afternoon and finish it up. Okay. What's the next slide?
One more.
There's one more slide? Oh.
Tomorrow, ABVM will be live on the Oklahoma Edge if they want to take
Online.
Online.
Okay. Just finding this out tomorrow, if you want to take your ABVM class online without listening to us, you read it, you take a test, you pass the test, it will be live on Oklahoma Edge tomorrow. And is that link in CARS? Or are we going to send it out? Okay. Okay, we're going to send out a link for that, and we're going to put it on CARS. Okay, our next Zoom will be July 22nd at 2:30. The next call for this, like this. And we might have more guidance, we might not. They haven't promised us anything. So I'm going to scroll back up real quick in the chat. And that is all of our slides. So can children come to the cafeteria and get a meal to take home? I'm sure that would be permissible if your district wants to do that. Part of, I think, the whole virtual option is to limit number of kids on campus and things like that. So you need to take that into consideration as well. Mandy, off subject, but if eating in a cafeteria, what is your recommendation on regular trays versus styrofoam trays? At this point, I haven't heard either way. You would probably, I don't know what, has anybody looked into if there's an issue with styrofoam trays? I don't think it matters because the styrofoam trays are going to go in the trash and the regular trays are going to be cleaned and sanitized through your dish machine. So I don't think there's a one way or another. You could always ask your local health department on that as well. Okay, I guess I'm confused. If we are severe need breakfast, we can't claim if we are virtual and sending home with parents because of the, no. Severe need breakfast has nothing to do with the enrichment component. The enrichment component is only tied to at-risk. If you serve a breakfast, whether you're getting the severe need rate or just the free breakfast rate or reduced breakfast rate, you claim those accordingly. It has severe need breakfast and enrichment do not go together. The registration for Oklahoma Edge will be sent out in an email and posted on CARS. Yes, you're right. The previous Zoom calls, we've said that USDA will have a playbook, and that is not available yet because they haven't given us one. All we have right now for guidance is what I went over with you and those waivers. Do we have to follow meal patterns for the virtual students that are at home? And if so, how do we know if the students are? Well, yes, you have to follow meal patterns for virtual kids. Yes, there's not a waiver for that. if you, as far as claiming them, if they're coming to the school that they're enrolled in to pick up their meal, you will know what they are, potentially, you will. But that is a good question because last summer they did allow for one grade group. That's a question I'm gonna send to USDA. I knew I'd have a few today. You want?
Because
Yeah.
if you're picking up at the high school, and that's not following the high school meal pattern.
We will find that out. That's a good question. So give me just a second to jot that down. That one has not been brought up on our 2 calls we've had with USDA since these have gone out. So that's a good one. Thank you. I'll get an answer to that. Will there be forms to fill out for our plan? Yes, there are forms. Contact your area consultant and they can get you those. They have a way to get you those. Next Zoom is when training for wellness smart snack schedule. We didn't check that, did we? Okay, we will look into that. Thank you. You are correct. We have a lot of stuff going on right now.
Wellness is July 21st and 22nd.
And the next call, the next Zoom call is the 22nd at 2:30.
Yeah.
Was there a waiver after number 37? No, not yet. I have a sneaking suspicion there will be eventually. Should the cooks wear masks when preparing meals and serving? Absolutely. I fully believe that, yes. And I believe the health department would probably agree with that. If you run the durable through the dish machine, they're fine. Oh, I guess you're meaning trays, okay. Off subject, any word on commodities? No, that would be Gina Cazzaruni. That you would need to email her on commodities. How about offer versus serve for elementary and middle school? It's optional. Offer versus serve at the elementary and middle school level is optional at lunch. It's never been required at breakfast, but it's optional at lunch. And in order to do it properly in the classroom, they would have to be able to pick 3 of the 5 things. It would be very hard to do. I don't recommend it. I can't tell you can't do it, but you're going to have to be pretty creative on how you will do it because you're ultimately going to have, your teachers aren't going to want to serve and, serve 3 of the 5 things. I don't know if you have enough staff to do that, but it's not going to be very feasible at all. Do we know when the meal? No, rates are in clearance at the USDA level, and they've been in clearance for 2 weeks. In clearance means they're at the Office of Management and Budget, and we found out, we had a call yesterday at 10 with USDA, and they're just in clearance. That's all I can tell you. We're waiting just as much as you are because we want them to, because we want you all to be able to finish your applications. Children with medical restrictions, you need to follow the doctor's note, the 501 or IEP, 504, sorry, or IEP. You still have to follow medical, children with dietary needs or medical restrictions. The question I'm going to ask USDA is, when feeding virtual kids and they come to the school, how do you know what meal pattern to give them if they're high school, middle school, or elementary? I'm going to find that out. Off topic, no, we do not have rates yet, sorry. Okay, the waivers on cars are giving an error. We will look into that and figure that out. My recommendation, my personal recommendation, which really doesn't mean anything and shouldn't mean anything to anyone, I would not, as a parent, I would not really want my child handling tongs that 20 other kids have handled, and you don't know if they've been exposed or are sick and don't know it. That's just my personal opinion. You need to check with your local health department on that, though. Reimbursement rates, we do not have them. USDA has not issued reimbursement rates. So should offer versus serve be indicated on the site application for younger site? Or how?
we're telling them to fill out the application as they would do in a normal year.
Okay,
And then if they need a waiver for the offer versus serve in the high school, to let us know.
okay. Fill out your application with us as you normally would if everything was whatever normal used to be. And then if you need a waiver, do a waiver. The risk for durable is the employee that is busing and running the dish machine. There are always ways to limit the risk, but that is a potential cross-contamination. Okay. Again, I don't know if the health department has a stance on that or not. You might reach out to your local health department.
Some of it's just going to be local policy.
And some of it, like Dana just said, may just be what you decide to do at your district, your local decision that's being made at your district on that. If if a district has virtual Fridays, can you send Friday meals home on Thursday? Yes, but I would also include food safety instructions for that meal. That covers you guys. Question about how everyone's getting the free and reduced applications. Normally, this particular person's go out with the enrollment packets. Those have already been sent out, and they did not let Child Nutrition know they were sending them out. I'm thinking of posting it online will be the best way. I think a lot of people have gone that route this year, posting it online. And yes, I'm sure a lot of schools are worried about that, getting all their applications in as well. Your district plans to deliver lunches during long-term closure, and then it cut off. It says this would, I'm not sure what that says, what else that's supposed to be, Jim. But yes, delivery can be done. And again, as of right now, they would be claimed under National School Lunch, School Breakfast, but these waivers allow for delivery as well. Offer versus serve for the 9th through 12th grade. There's a waiver, number 37 is not required because of this waiver at lunch. If the meals are taken to the classroom, do they have to be on covered to-go containers? I think it would be best to have them covered as you take them to the classroom, yes. And again, that could potentially be a health department phone call. For someone who's brand new, do you recommend taking the take it live? Take it live or, oh, I mean, by live, I mean sitting in front of your computer and listening to it. I apologize. Yes, take the one that we're teaching. There will be a chance to ask questions. Whereas if you take it through Oklahoma Edge, you're just reading it. You can't ask questions and you take a test or a quiz at the end.
You have to pass it with the 80%.
Oh, that's right. You have to pass it with an 80% pass rate. I forgot about that on Oklahoma Edge. So do meals have to be prepackaged or no, you're allowed, or will we be allowed to cook? No, you're allowed to cook. They do not have to be prepackaged. Nancy, restaurants are using dishes. And I think this goes back to the whole trays versus durable trays versus styrofoam. So restaurants are using dishes. Yes, good point, Kristen. If you're getting into cars to see the waivers, up at the very top, there's a drop-down box for year. Change it to 21. That might be part of the problem of maybe not seeing them. If we delivered them, would we need a roster? Yes, you need a roster if you're going to drop off meals. That is correct. And no, you would not feed children from another district. That is because under NSLP, you're claiming them free, reduced, or paid, and you're not going to know the status of those kids. So no, you do need a roster for delivery, and you do not feed in other districts. And again, things could change. This is as of right now. Our school is trying to all paperwork this year on okay, you're going to do all online paperwork this year. Can we put our lunch applications on our website and have them fill out them? Yes, you can have them fill them out electronically. If you change the application in any way from the prototype that we give you in CARS, that has to be approved through this office. Becky Gray approves those. And you can do an electronic signature. Talk to your IT people about how to get that done. The cafeteria managers meeting, will there be a manual to print out? We'll have the slides,
The manual is already.
and the manual
on
is already
course.
posted on CARS under 2021. Does the SDE have opinions about reducing cash handling at the POS station? Obviously, I can't require online payments, but I can highly encourage. You can. No, they just have to have a way to pay on the line. That's required.
Which is something they need to think about on virtual students going home with full
And
payments.
again, that's a great point we hadn't discussed yet. Your virtual kids, remember, you're claiming free, reduced, and paid. So those paid kids, you know, they will accumulate a bill if they're not paying. So that's something you're going to have to work out also in the district. Dan, washed and sanitized trays start off just as safe as disposables. Thank you. Lisa, any possibility that last year's free and reduced students could be rolled into this year's or all free or something? That has not, no, that has not been discussed. State did ask on our call and they said no.
Remember, you have the 30-day carryover.
And you do have the 30-day carryover. Is the ABVM training a repeat on August 6th or continued? It's a repeat. What about a la carte items? Yes, that's up to the district. And they have to meet the guidelines. None of that has been waived, the Smart Snack guidelines. August 6th, no, it will be a live presentation on August 6th. We won't re-air a audio recording. It will be live. Let's see, Shauna says, I know that like many districts and communities, we serve many children this summer, not in Oklahoma City Public Schools. They are from all over the metro because they stay with grandparents, et cetera, while parents work. I think this may be the case also if parents choose virtual. Yes, that is a possibility. I will pass that along as well to USDA on our next call. I'm making a note. Hold on just a second.
I had the chat up for a minute and then it disappeared. And
Just give me just a second. I'm not ignoring you guys. Just writing notes so I can, okay. I will find out about that as well. You have a new cafeteria manager this year and are no longer with a management company. How do I go about getting her a log in for CARS? You can email Rhonda Stevenson. I will type her name in the chat, or email, sorry, in the chat. She can get her going. It is in the chat. Rhonda.stevenson.sde.ok.gov. You're concerned. I'm very concerned because school starts August 6th and I've tried repeatedly to work with the superintendent on our plan, yet he will not give me any information on going into the school year blind. Any suggestions? Well, that I would not, that's scary. Has the district released their plan for the school year? That would be a question I would have. You know, you are a miracle worker and you should just be able to get that done. Don't you know, Tiffany? I'm sorry, I'm being a little sarcastic. I'm just kind of surprised that the district hasn't released a plan per se, like starting out. A lot of districts, I know Edmond Public Schools released their plan Monday night, and it's a combination. Let me take that back. It's full on in school, but they have a virtual option that the students can enroll in through virtual Edmond. So, and I know Moore has 3 different options: full on time or on site. Option 2 is a combination hybrid model is what they're calling it, virtual and on site, and then all virtual. So, and that's kind of what we're hearing from multiple school districts. Yeah, she'll want to do some of those trainings for sure, Rebecca, your new staff. Why is all questions not seeing in the chat box? Do you have it set? Gary had said earlier what to set it to.
You gotta send it to all panelists and attendees.
You have to
not just all
set your
panelists.
chat box towards the bottom to all panelists and attendees. Oh, so Tiffany, your district hasn't released a plan. Well, I don't have an answer for that. Most schools have, at this point, developed some sort of plan. Oh, and Sandra, you have the same problem as Tiffany.
I've been planning virtual and on site just because that's where all the other schools are going.
Dana, who is a former food service director, said she would just plan on the combination like most other districts are doing. That you most likely will have kids when, do you have a start date for school? You pretty much will have kids that day. Courtney says we have a school of about 125 students and only 2 kitchen staffs. Courtney, has your district come out with their plan yet of how they're going to want you to serve? Maybe it will be all in the kitchen versus classroom. I think it's going to depend on that. And I think if they're going to expect you to serve in the classroom, there might be a potential there to discuss with your administration about at least a part-time person or 2 potentially, because that will be, reach out to another district as well in your same maybe area and size wise, and get information from them, brainstorm with them. Were the questions and answers from the June 24th posted? They've been posted in CARS, but we'll double check that.
Procurement and wellness are not required.
Procurement and wellness are not required. I'm behind, I guess. Oh, okay. As far as cafeteria feeding, are there any rules on how far? Not that I'm aware of, unless the health department's come out with anything. I know some districts are possibly not just having the cafeteria available. They might be having a gym to where kids can go in there and spread out. I know Edmond, part of they're going to allow them to eat in other areas besides just the cafeteria, so that there is some more distancing available. Tiffany, they say there will be a meeting the 4th of August and you start the 6th? I'm sorry, but that's not much time for you. I think that's what and I might be reading into this, but the 4th of July has passed, so I'm assuming it's going to be August 4th. You might want to go ahead and plan some menus and be ready. If anybody, Tiffany, what school are you with? Somebody might have some helpful information they could reach out to you if you just put it in the chat. Rebecca says our district is still working on policies to return, so we are kind of in limbo also. We are just gathering as much info and making plans best we can till then. We are planning to feed children in shifts in classroom and virtual. That's about all you can do at this point, because that's really what most we're hearing when I sit on calls, when I talk to people. That's really what we're hearing, is how that's going to. Okay, so Kristen says hers is set to what we've told them and she's not seeing everything. Okay. Gary, do you have any suggestions on that? So we have several people in the same situation as Tiffany as far as not being communicated with. And I have let them know on calls to include their child nutrition staff on their decision making. I personally recommend wearing masks in the kitchen and during serving. I also know that several districts are requiring masks for certain grades and up. So I would ask your district what their guidelines are for masks in the kitchen. I would also check with the health department, and the CDC might have some information out there for food service as well. Okay, so there's quite a handful of you all out there about plans. Did you say we can deliver to students that are virtual? Yes, but you will claim them under National School Lunch, School Breakfast, categorically free, reduced, and paid. You can deliver to virtual students. Lisa says that most schools are waiting on a July board meeting to release a plan, and that's a possibility too, because some board meetings are early in the month and some are later in the month. So no, procurement and wellness are not required, but they are part of your review, and reviews have not been waived. Courtney, Shauna Hall is telling you if they do breakfast in the classroom, she is suggest asking if a couple of students can come and get meals to maybe help you all out. Oh, you saw, okay. Trina, my comment box has a drop down to show who can see my questions. Everyone can select for panelists and attendees to see questions. All parents are freaking out online. They just said today that we will find out the 4th. Parents have called me asking and are amazed that there's no information. That's Tiffany. Yeah, I agree. I would be one of those parents that wouldn't be real happy not knowing. That is going to be a district decision, how many students are allowed in the cafeteria at once. Sharon Mutual Elementary will be serving in the cafeteria, and they have about 130 kids. Excuse me. Courtney Kelly O'Kelly from a small school in Shawnee is willing to give you some guidance, and her email is in the chat. kokelly@pgs.k12.ok.us. So Dan says everyone needs to change the to all panelists and attendees in order for others to see their post. If you can only see the one posting the comment, it's changed on their end. Billy. Yes, we always post the Zoom call. It's always posted in CARS. So yes, and then we take the chat and we answer the questions and post those in writing. Tiffany's at Wampanoag. Rebecca said they've talked at their district about when weather allows letting kids eat outside, the older kids alternate days for middle school, elementary. Yeah, I think that will be an option at several places. Nancy says, heck, we started in summer school today. Oh, in school, in person, and they were still trying to figure out lunch at 9:30 this morning. Okay, so unfortunately, that might be par for the course at times with child nutrition. Lisa says they have 3 different sessions. My assumption is that would be lunch. Okay, he's still saying he's not finding the meeting questions for June 24th. We'll make sure they're in there. Or you may have checked already. Okay, she's gonna check. Let's see, Rebecca says, we feel as though pre-K and kindergarten will be best off eating in the cafeteria. I tend to agree with that. And hold on, I'm getting ready to sneeze. I apologize. So sorry. Thank you. I called the superintendent and you just frustrate him. I'm wondering if he's just as frustrated because he's not sure what to do. I know that a lot of superintendents are feeling a lot of pressure because no matter what decision they make, it will never be the right decision. And you just kind of have to make one at this point, and do the best you can for what you think will work best for your district. And it's tough. It's you know, they get a lot of kickback for closing for weather when they shouldn't have, or not closing when they should have, and stuff like that. And so I think that this is just another one of those issues, but you definitely need some information. I understand that as well. On a side note, bus driver received a handwritten note from elementary student this summer thanking him for bringing them meals. That's awesome. That's what makes it all worthwhile. But yes, wearing masks and gloves. Yes, in the kitchen, I agree. So there's another one that doesn't have a plan yet. Okay. That's not a bad idea, Christy. Those of you that don't have a plan, maybe come up with a plan of how you're going to feed and give it to him, and that might help him, that might guide him, maybe. It's a possibility. Yeah, I agree with you, Renetta. This year's going to be a nightmare. The potential is there. You're exactly right. I just hope it's not. Donna, confused about quote unquote the plan. Can you expand on that a little bit more for me? Lynn, thank you for the, bless you for sneezing. Alicia, yes, the school reviews are every 5 years now. We applied for a waiver last year and got it. The only thing that's not every 5 years would be procurement reviews for food service management companies, and it's regulatory that those are every 3 years. CARS is our claiming application and review system where you enter your application for the program and you claim. Reach out to your area consultant, Misty. If you don't know who that is, call up here at 405-521-3327 and ask someone who answers and let them know what county you live in, and we will get you contact information for your field consultant. Kristen, Jenny at Osage Hills plans to reach out to you soon. Dan says, if you're unsure and can't get direction, maybe consider a sack lunch menu for the first week or two. If you end up switching to a hot menu sooner, you could still use the sack lunch items for your virtual kids. That's a great idea. Thank you. Thank you for the bless you.
The June 24th. I think I failed to get it uploaded.
Okay,
So we'll-
there is a chance that the June 24th Q&As may have not been uploaded. That is a good possibility. Sorry, we will get them up. Nancy asked the elementary principals for their plan. They figured it out. Yeah, maybe go to a principal at your site and ask if they know anything. That's an idea. Okay, so Rebecca has a COVID leadership committee and they included a child nutrition personnel. Well, good for them. Yes, I agree. It's nice to be involved in what I completely agree. Who needs to develop the plan, meaning a plan for one of these waivers or the plan for how the district's going to operate child nutrition in the fall? The waivers, reach out to your area consultant to get that information. As far as the plan for your district, it's normally the administration that is making the plan for how the school will start and kind of go if there's closures and things. It's just always nice if they would include child nutrition to be able to be in that discussion. And Rebecca's agreeing with Dan that they discussed that at their last COVID leadership meeting.
Has to be on committees, has to be a part of it.
Yes, Karen, that's great that your administration is working with you. I have said that twice on calls with the area superintendents across the state before because, you know, that you all need to be involved for sure. And I feel for any of you that aren't, you might try reaching out to a principal or something like that to see if they have any ideas. Thank you, Mel. We appreciate you guys too. We just know there will be more guidance. Several of the things I just want to reiterate is once school starts, regardless of how it starts for your district, if it starts all in person, if it starts virtual, whatever the case may be, right now, at the end of this call, the guidance is you're going to claim those meals under National School Lunch, School Breakfast, and you will claim them categorically as free, reduced, and paid. Once school starts, you will not feed under SSO or SFSP anymore. Also, the at-risk can, as of right now, starting next school year, can only be for those students that are on campus. There's not an option to send home at-risk supper or at-risk snack meals for virtual kids at this point. That can and might possibly change. But I'm just giving you the guidance that we have as of right now. salad bars. Again, that's going to be, I would reach out to the health department. I think that I would be leery of a bunch of students that may or may not have washed their hands touching tongs, 20, 30, and 40 kids over and over and over again. That's just not really smart right now. I saw a few more jump in here. Dana, we're putting them under COVID heading. Yeah, prior, under what? Okay, prior Zoom meetings and Q&As are in cars, under 2020 drop down, other documents under the COVID heading. I agree, Dan. Child nutrition needs to be involved and informed because they end up changing things such as meal times like they did in Edmond this year. Yes, that is true. And start times. I just found that out. Again, salad bars, I answered that. All COVID-19, oh, Dana's saying all COVID-19 information is under the 2020 school year under the COVID-19 heading. The June 24th Q&A will be posted tomorrow. We will have part virtual and part in-class learning. Our rosters required for the CEP students on meals we send home. You definitely have to have a count. Dana and I are discussing, hold on, sorry. Okay, we're gonna ask that question to USDA. That has not come up yet. CEP students in virtual school. So that will be a question we will get more guidance on. I feel like it will be total craziness in the beginning even if you feel prepared. I agree. I feel it's that way every year in the beginning, yes. In other documents and cards, you can find the COVID information under year 2020. Upcoming trainings and links are located in 2021 on CARS. Okay, maybe. May we use the salad bar stocked with prepackaged salad? You can do prepackaged salad, yes, and you can make it a reimbursable meal and they just take the actual full salad. There's a lot of districts that do that. If we start a regular year but close for COVID and go distance learning, can we still serve meals at home? As of right now, yeah, that will be an option. And as of right now, it would be claimed under National School Lunch, School Breakfast, unless USDA issues an unanticipated school closure waiver. And there's been no talk of that yet. You're gonna do a salad bar, but everything will be bagged or kept with lids and then they just grab. So your local health department said it was okay and being no different than stores. Okay, good to know. So we will not use SSO and do not need to apply just in case, as was mentioned previously. I'm not going to say I wouldn't go ahead and apply because if this was to get bad again, and what happened and I'm not saying March was worse than it is now or vice versa, we're not going to go there, but if something was to come and a closure, like a full multiple half-year closure happened, I have a feeling, nothing to base this on but my gut, that it would switch over. But so just because you apply for SSO in CARS does not mean anything. You can apply for SSO in CARS and never use it during the school year, and that's okay because all your claims will be under NSLP and SVP. It certainly wouldn't hurt. What we're going to find out about the CEP question, Shauna, is, you know, in normal on the line, you just need a total count of those kids. But if you're feeding virtual kids, is there some sort of roster that's going to have to be kept? I'm going to find out about that. I know we won't be the only state that has that question. I'm going to have to look into that out-of-home placement question, Marissa. She says, I know we mentioned once school starts, we cannot serve children that are not enrolled in our district. But what could we serve non-district students as out-of-home placement students? I need to look into that. That will be one we answer when we, there's something in the back of my head that tells me no, but I want to get you the correct information. And I'm not up on my out-of-home placement information right now. Hand sanitizing stations that every child must use if they are eating in the dining room, as well as masks when entering and social distancing is what you're hoping to implement. Okay. And that might be part of your plan. I know some districts on the calls I've been on, they are going to have hand sanitizing stations around and things like that more than they have before. So Krista has heard a wise quote, we can't control much, but we can control how well we plan. We can't control what the administrators tell us, but we can plan our department with options. Yeah, it's very true. Very, very true. Okay, anybody else? We're out of questions. So I'm going to find out about virtual kids and what meal patterns they follow when they pick up meals. I'm going to find about virtual students that are staying with grandparents because parents work and they take them to the grandparent and feeding them. So I'm going to find out about that. We're going to find out about virtual students and out-of-home placement students. Those are the things we're going to find out too that I've from USDA. I believe that is all. Okay, we will check on that. We will check on the waivers. Somebody else had said there was an error. We'll look into that. Thank you also for all you guys are doing. What about virtual students staying at a daycare? Well, the daycare will feed them. Daycares can be on the child and adult care food program and feed their students. And they have to feed them per licensing regulations anyway, whether they're on our program or not. They are, the licensing meal patterns are the same as our child care meal patterns, whether they're on our program or not. Okay, and again, the rates aren't out. As soon as they're out, they will be updated in the system and sent out, but we don't have them. And I believe we are done. Thank you guys for everything, and we will be having another call July 22nd.